Yeah, speaking of that, I should probably start recording this.
Oh yeah, that's a recording. That's happening.
Yeah, I forgot that happened.
So, whenever everyone's ready to start, we can pick up exactly where we left off, with you leaving Red Larch and walking up the North Road. Just give me the word whenever you're ready.
I'm good.
I'm pretty
I was just
hella.
adding a note.
Fair enough. So, we all ready then?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Alright then. You just left the quaint little town of Red Larch and are traveling along the slightly bumpy path up north. You can see on this barren hilltop while you are in a jungle island, the area around you has been deforested from perhaps civilization moving in. It's a very hilly area, and you are traveling not too many miles, a couple of miles from Red Larch. It's quite nice. The breeze is soft, the air is breathable. Oh no, it's pretty quaint so far. You can see to the south of you, a few miles, Red Larch stands behind you, and you have traveled quite a ways already. It's been a mostly silent journey, before that silence is quickly interrupted as you see a figure running down along the path behind you. You recognize them as that tavern boy you met from, well, the tavern. He runs up to you before catching his breath. Hey, you two, you remember me, right? Josuke?
Somewhat.
Oh yeah, by the way, so feel free to interrupt me or my characters, as that helps progress dialogue along quickly. So if my characters seem to be pausing or something, just start talking. Helps keep dialogue natural. Either way, with that, we continue with the story. So, you're searching for these guys, right? They were from Belliard, right?
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah. Well, I kind of saw something up here. It's around over there. He points a little towards north of you, off the beaten path over a hilltop. I found something weird. I just thought that since you guys seem to be, well, official of some sort, maybe you'd be able to help with it?
Could you elaborate?
Well, I think it'd be better if I just showed you. Would you come with me for a minute?
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you. Before catching his breath, he stands up straight, takes a few deep breaths, and begins walking towards the hilltop that he pointed towards. You see, I'm a herder, I guess you could say. Well, get the milk and stuff for ingredients in the beer. And as I was herding the sheep through and doing watts, I came across, it's weird to say, they looked like graves. Really fresh graves. Right over this hilltop. I just don't even know what to think of it. And sure enough, as you first pass the hilltop, you find 4 freshly dug graves. The earth scraped out for the holes is piled nearby, and hastily gathered stones cover the graves. The faint smell of death hangs in the air, and several vultures circle overhead.
Are there still bodies in it?
The graves are covered over. You can't see anything inside of it.
Oh, okay. What does this have to do with what we're doing?
I don't know. I just thought maybe you'd know something about it. I don't know. You just seem like adventurers, and adventurers do stuff like that, right?
Well, thank you for your help, but we have to get going.
Right. Roll perception.
Okay.
Both of you.
Alright.
Okay. Perception is
D20.
okay. D20.
Alright.
Got a 7.
Mm-hmm.
And
I got 11.
+3.
Minus
Alright.
1 for me.
Well, as you're turning to leave, you don't really hear much, until all of a sudden Josuke screams. You spin around, and you see an elven woman, perhaps half-elven. She's wearing long purple robes, and seems to have some sort of scale-like things across her face around her eyes. He's shocked as she just seemed to suddenly appear next to him. She's kneeling down next to the graves and staring at them. Upon the scream, she turns and looks at him, before putting a finger to her mouth as if asking him to be quiet. Without dignifying a response, she simply goes back to looking at the graves.
Okay, then.
Jose is currently freaking out. Who are you? What are you doing here? You're being too loud. Be quiet. What would your characters like to do anything, or?
I just look at June.
I use my intimidation skill.
You want to intimidate this half-elf?
Yes.
All right then. What would you like to do to intimidate them?
I'll run up and try to like choke her or something.
You want to
What?
choke
Put
her?
or put her in
This
like
What?
is an intimidation roll, not an attack roll.
yeah. I mean like
I'm glad you find a stranger and your first response is to try and choke them.
Can I use
Really?
an intimidation roll?
I mean, what do
It's
you?
like
You don't have to tell me what you want to do. Like
just
how
I
you
wanna
want to
like
intimidate
step
them.
up and be like, who are you? What do you want? Like who are you here?
I mean, it's not quite an intimidation roll. That's just talking.
Well, I'm Typhon. I'm intimidating. I can tell them. I can make them tell me. When it comes to
Well, I mean,
different
you can
things.
just sort of ask the question. You know,
Really
just
intimidating them.
not everything is roles. In fact, roles are really as common as you'd expect them to be, with them being so synonymous with D&D. You can usually just say your characters do something, and I'll usually just say your characters do it, unless it's like an strenuous feat.
Okay. Then I intimidatingly ask her what she's doing here.
She looks up, stands up from the graves, and turns around to face you. You can see she's wearing a black shirt and pants, and wearing a purple cloak over it. There's a clasp in the center of what appears to be some sort of globe-like clasp holding it together. She has blonde hair kept in a loose braid that hangs around her shoulders. Her green eyes stare directly into yours. So, I wasn't thinking much when I first heard of this assignment, but you're the ones I was supposed to meet? What a pain. She scratches behind her ear before looking back up to you. I suppose I'm supposed to introduce myself, aren't I? My name's Zendala. I'm a harbor agent, and I'm supposed to be protecting you and helping you find the seeds that your agents lost.
Is like, well, how do I tell if she's lying?
Well, I mean, you can try to make an insight check to discern her motives.
Okay, what's that?
It'd be insight, so D20 plus insight.
Okay, 11 plus 3. 14.
She just sort of has a dead facial expression, like she's not making too many expressions. So, I mean, she isn't really showing any signs of lying, but she isn't really freaking out or showing any real emotion at all, really. So maybe she's lying. She's probably telling the truth.
Okay, then.
Great. I'm stuck with you two. She stretches out her arms before cracking her knuckles. First up, you're missing an important clue. You're supposed to be investigators, aren't you? That means you investigate everything. She kicks a rock beside the gravestone and begins kicking a few more rocks as if digging it up. She is casually defiling a grave right now. Well, are you going to help me dig, or are you just going to stand there, mouths agape? Joe State quickly interjects. You can't just dig up a grave. Who's inside of it? We
Shut
aren't
up,
going to know who's
Josuke.
inside of it unless we open it. Now sit down, dumbass. You two over there. You going to help me dig, or just going to stand there lollygagging?
Why not? Let's dig up graves today.
Sure.
What do you say?
Will you give me money for it?
Money. You realize that I'm also an agent, right? I'm not your employer. You do know what you're a part of. You're part of the Emerald Enclave. You know, the organization that goes out and deals with magic and stuff. But, like, not
please,
even...
please excuse my partner. We're just gonna come up and help you dig up some graves. Yep.
Alright then. Well, as you dig up the graves, you begin to see more and more of what's inside. Eventually, you fully dig up the 4 graves and pull out 4 fresh bodies. You can find, of these bodies, 1 male dwarf who is dressed in what seems to be artisan robes, 1 female human who is dressed in a black surcoat with a red axe emblazoned on it, 1 male human who's dressed in a black cloak with this strange stony armor over him, and 1 male human in a white robe with black feathers at the shoulders. All of them seem to have died from some sort of arrow wounds or crushing blunt force. That's all you can tell just from looking at the bodies.
Okay.
The half-elf who introduced herself as Zandala kneels next to one of the bodies. It's the woman in the armor, or the woman in the coat. She points at the red axe emblazoned on its label. There, that's the symbol of Mirabar. That's where the delegates came from. This is one of the guards.
Pardon?
This woman, she was one of the guards of the delegates. We found her here, dead. See? Important clue. Still not showing much emotion, she doesn't really seem to care much about honoring dead, as she simply kicks the body over to search it more. You know, you two could investigate as well. And I don't just mean the bodies. Be sure to investigate everything around. We never know what we might find.
Okay. What do you say, June? Well, okay. Well, I say yeah.
Yeah.
So you can make, say, an investigation check to search the surrounding area.
What? Sorry.
Well, sorry. Do you want me to speak a little louder if I can't be heard or something?
No, that was just me.
You're fine for me.
Alright. So, one of the things you could be using, sorry, I sometimes forget that everyone's still new. There's a stat called investigation, which you can use to look around. You can use it to try and figure out stuff about, say, a crime scene.
Is that a D22?
Yes, most things are D20 in D&D.
Okay, I got a 12.
Do you have an investigation stat?
That was with the stat.
Okay. June?
21, including my stat.
Alright then. So, as you both look around, you make a serious effort to study the surrounding areas. You find a large collection of tracks, but they all sort of lead in circles. Some of them are bloody, some of them are simply in the dirt. You find a few broken arrows with shafts along the ground, feathers, a few discarded javelins as well, perhaps remnants of all the battle. as well as one tattered gray cloak. As you look around for any surrounding landmarks, you have a good view of the surrounding hills, and from this vantage point, you can make out this thin, dark line marking the road you came from, and at the end of the road is Red Larch. To the east of you, you can see across the hills this slender old tower circled by large birds. Nothing else is around, though.
Okay.
Zendala stands up from where she was leaning. So, did you find anything? You two, did you find anything?
Not necessarily.
Really? Well, I don't know. You seem to have found a few tracts, a few broken arrows, and a discarded javelin or two. That implies that this was a battle, doesn't it?
Yeah, but
Yeah, of course.
how is that going
What
to help
else would
us?
it mean?
But I really am stuck with fools, aren't I? She very tawdily brushes a bit of hair behind her ear. She has this sly smirk on her face, as if to act as though she's superior to everyone else. She walks around and adopts a sort of lecturing pose. As we can see from these two, she points to the dwarf as well as the lady in the coat. These people were part of the Mirabar delegates, meaning they were attacked. After all, since the Mirabar delegates were meant to get to Red Larch, which is just over there, she points towards the town off in the distance. They'd have no reason to attack anybody. Anyone could put that together, right? And we can tell from these two over here. She points to the other mysterious men, the one wearing the black coat with strange stony armor, and the one with the white coat with black feathers on the shoulders. These two must have been attackers. However, we can also see from their differing outfits that they're very uniform, I suppose you could say. Meaning one of two things. They were part of a special group, both of them together, which has a very loose uniform policy, or B, they were part of two different groups who both attacked these Mirabar delegates. Either way, we can tell from the battle that the Mirabar delegates were attacked, and by whoever these people belonged to. She finishes her explanation with a cocky smirk. So, she looks to you all expectantly, as if expecting to be praised for her work.
Yeah. You're right.
You two aren't talkers, are you? Juste sort of leans in towards you. She has a bit of an ego, doesn't she? It's alright. Sorry if this is like a little, I don't know, too fast for you. Like the plot points are coming in quick. Character interactions.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sorry.
It's
it's always hard in the beginning, like trying to get players accustomed to talking with NPCs. But I'm sure you'll do fine. It's always strange at first, but you'll get good.
Yeah.
So, you've met a strange half-elf named Zandala. She's wearing purple robes, blonde hair kept in a braid off to the side, with green eyes. There's a description to remember her by. What you typing?
Notes.
Ah. What are your notes so far?
We have that she's uninteresting but useful. Bodies. Mocha won't join. Civilization is fucked up. You know, the usual.
The usual, yeah. Zendala also mentioned that she is a Harper agent who is tasked with helping you. So is the recording thing happening?
Yeah.
Or, oh, how wonderful. Just this long stretch of dead silence. The most beautiful of recordings, of course.
Yes, exactly.
So give me a description of your character.
Um,
Personality, physical descriptions.
he's a bit over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes actually rational.
Mm-hmm.
Um, also a bit psychotic, so.
Alright.
He's a fighter with.
What's his physical description? Wearing a coat or wearing chain shirt or probably leather armor more likely?
He has chainmail armor.
Chainmail armor, alright. He buff, not buff. Absurdly buff.
Very buff.
Very buff, good to know. So we've got very buff man with over-the-top theatrics. Good to know. So, well, we'll just say that Kate is currently sitting down right now. Let's go over what you've seen in this investigation so far. That there was a woman. Sorry, I have a tendency of talking too fast, so just tell me if I'm talking too fast and I can slow down.
Alright.
Ever. So there was a woman in a black coat who had upon her lapel a emblem of a red axe. Zendala said that this was the emblem of Mirabar, which is the city that the delegates came from, meaning that was their starting point. There was also a dwarven person who had an artisan's outfit, art man, whether they be weaponsmith or just art maker. Considering that he also had the red axe, he too was likely from Mirabar. There was also two unfamiliar people. Two men, one of whom had a black cloak and was wearing this strange set of stony armor atop it. The stone armor seemed to have been a part of the cloak. There was also another man who was wearing a black a white cloak, which had black feathers sewn into the shoulders, as if to resemble a bird. Neither of them were Mirabarian, as they had no emblem. There were signs of a battle around, with broken arrows, javelins thrown, a tattered gray cloak. And the only recognizable vantage point around is off to the east. There's a long, thin tower circled by large birds. Josie continues to look at the bodies before looking up at the old tower. So, have you ever heard of the legend of the Haunted Keeps?
No.
That's called Featherdale Spire. I don't know much about it, but people said that long ago, there were 4 keeps in the Somber Hills. And these knights established these keeps long ago to fight some ancient evil. Either way, they were abandoned for a long time, but just recently, apparently they've been reoccupied. That one over there has a collection of knights. They call themselves the Featherdale Knights. They're apparently from Waterdeep. Waterdeep's a really rich city off on the mainland. It's where a lot of important organizations originate from. Zendala chimes in with a bit of her own. The Harpers also originated from Waterdeep, but right now we're spread all throughout the world, so our origin doesn't really matter at this point. Well, I suppose I did come from Waterdeep, but other than that, they're not too important. So, Emerald Enclave member, huh?
Correct.
Got any ideas about where to investigate for these missing delegates?
I don't know.
You seem to be heading somewhere before you stop by these graves.
Yeah. We were
Where
going
were you?
to the place of.
You were heading to a town called Belliard, which was the last known location of the delegates.
We are going to place the place known as Belliard.
Belliard? Never heard of it. Just seems to chirp up a bit. Oh, well, that's a small town. A little bit smaller than Red Larch. It was recently established. It's mostly known for its very nice inn. Called the Watchful Knight. Apparently has some of the best drinks in our Medio. Outside of Port Nazaru, of course. Zendala leans up against a nearby tree and simply breathes in the fresh air. You know, Josuke looks over to you. It's hard living out in a place like this. Armedia is such a dangerous place. Well, the jungle is everywhere. It took settlers forever to carve out enough land to make the hills. But,
Is there a reason you stay?
well, I suppose there's nowhere else to go. The only other option is living in Port Nazaru. But that place, it's corrupt. Run by merchant princes who believe in greed and worship money. Literally, in some cases. All they care about is lining their own pockets, not protecting their citizens. Living there, you're basically cattle. Locked up inside the walls, watching as undead claw at them. You
That's
know they're
horrible.
always just outside the gate, too. I used to live there, but I moved. Zendala leans up from where she was leaning against a tree. You mentioned undead? Oh, yes. You see, Armedio has a strong undead problem. It's gotten worse recently. I don't know why, though. About 20 days ago, the undead suddenly became more ravenous. Almost as if something happened to awaken them. The undead were always bad, but they've gotten so much worse.
I'm assuming that's the limit to your knowledge.
Yeah. We haven't had much of a problem in Red Larch. They mostly stay up north, since that's where the highest population is. But we do have frequent attacks.
Mm.
Zendala leans up from the tree. So, we're looking for the delegates, and our options for where to search them are this weird town called Belliard, or, well, she looks over to that tower far into the east. Featherdale Spire, huh? A haunted keep. Sounds interesting.
It does.
Very interesting indeed.
What do you say? Where do you want to go first?
Me?
Well, both of you. We're all on the same team, aren't we?
Well, I suppose so. Joste sort of coughs a bit. If it'd be alright, could I come along as well? At this point, I kind of want to know what happened. Hearing about these delegates and hearing about all this. He points to the bodies and gestures all around him. It's kind of intriguing. So, would it be alright if I accompanied you? I know a little bit about medicine, so I could probably help you if anyone was injured.
I think it might be too dangerous.
Yeah.
It's Mocha.
Hey.
She just comes running from the distance.
Oh, Mocha's here. How wonderful. Oh.
Okay.
So, Mocha, there's been a bit of a retcon. You don't exist.
You have been
Unmuting for this. Why do I not exist?
unperson.
because you don't. That's why.
Oh,
I'll be honest, I couldn't think of a better way to write you out of the story, and we had
You
only
just-
just started with one session, so you'll just be introduced later.
You just run
Alright.
away.
okay. Alrighty then, that's valid.
I
On them, they have like 6 less rations now.
Dang.
Oh no.
We don't
I-
have a ration
I-
supply.
Use.
I have like unlimited rations.
So,
think I have
Mocha,
one
what you
ration.
missed, they found some bodies in shallow graves that were freshly dug. They also found a half-elf who is kind of a dick, but other than that, she doesn't really talk much. She
Alright.
calls herself Zendala, and she says she's working for the Harpers, which is an organization dedicated to finding magic and, helping people.
I know who are the Harpers! I know the Harpers! Ah!
Oh?
Oh boy! In the campaign that I saw the Harpers in, those were terrible people! Can't wait for that! Oh boy!
Not all Harpers are evil, don't worry.
All Harpers are evil, and you cannot change my mind. Oh god, this is gonna be
This is straight up
this is gonna
segregation.
be one hell of a trip. Alright,
That's racist
well,
against Harpers. How dare you?
sorry. Alright, I'll go mute again. Thank you
No,
for
I'm-
telling me.
Anyway, yeah. They also found they saw a tower off in the distance called Featherdale Spire, which is a thing.
And apparently it's spooky.
Yeah, there's a lot of birds circling it. Anyway, so let's continue then.
Yes.
Zendala brushes a hand through her hair. You can see her nails are quite long, and that combined with the scales around her eyes, they're very light scales. They don't really look quite like scales, almost like strange patterns of her skin. Give her an almost draconic appearance.
Have we never seen dry skin before?
Quite.
That was a joke.
No, I get it. So, where do you think we should be going? Personally, I think that tower sounds pretty interesting. Especially considering, well, that. She points to the body in the white robes on the ground. He has feathers on him, and there's a lot of birds around that tower. Very tentative connection, but it's all we got right now.
Yeah, I guess we should go investigate it.
What about the boy?
Josuke.
Yeah.
You all look over to him. He's not quite a boy. He's about 20. He has sort of this sandy blonde hair, and he looks very eager to come. Please, I promise I won't be a burden.
What do you think?
I don't care either way.
Sure,
Just
but if
know
you get
that.
killed, it's not on us.
All right, I promise I'll do my best. Listen, just... She sort of like coughs into her hand. This is dangerous. Very dangerous. Just... Maybe you'd want to reconsider. She shows a surprising amount of depth and emotion in her face, despite her initial appearance to you. You sure you'd want to come, kid? And you, she points to you two. You sure you want to let him come?
Well, if he wants to.
If he wants to, it's not my fault if he dies.
All right,
I think, personally, I don't think he should. But who am I to stop him?
If he makes a choice out of his own free will, we shouldn't, like, stop him from doing it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I promise I won't be a burden. He sort of jumps for joy a bit and hops around very happily. All right. Zendala sort of stretches her arms and walks in a circle. Either way, we're off. She points towards the tower. I think I spotted a way to get there over my way here. We simply have to head through the mountains. It's going to be a bit of a perilous shortcut, but oh well. Hope you learn how to climb. With a sly smile, she walks off towards the tower, with the rest of you in tow.
So, do you know how long this walk will be?
Zendala looks over her shoulder. You're walking along a long road, and you just crossed the road to get here, and you're walking up sort of a hill. Oh dear, not this again. Look, we'll get there when we get there. It shouldn't be too far. We just need to cross this little hill over here, make a bit of a hop and a skip, and we'll be there, I think. With that, she begins climbing up the hill in front of her. It's not quite a sheer cliff, but it's certainly perilous. Roll d20 acrobatics.
Okay. 9.
19.
June, you effortlessly climb the cliff along with Zendala. You both get to the top. Kate, however, as you're climbing, you grab a bad rock and begin to slide down. Just as you're about to fully lose your grip, you're caught by your hand. Josie catches you and stabilizes you against the rock. Careful there. That was almost a bit of a doozy.
Wow, thanks, dude.
I told you I'd be able to be helpful. He gives a soft smile before climbing up the rock. You all make it to the top, and it's quite the beautiful view. The sun is midday, and it's very bright out. The wind's sweeping around you, the grass, everything. And you're quite close to Featherdale Spire. As you're walking along, Zendala looks to all of you. Remember, just because of this tentative explanation I have, we should be aware that they don't have to be enemies. We just be cautious, but don't jump to combat. With this rather ominous warning, she looks back to the spire and continues walking towards it.
I aggressively look at June.
Featherdale Spire rises from a pillar of rock high into the air, the tallest point for miles. Built from white limestone and bedded in marble, the spire resembles a gleaming sword piercing the sky. The gatehouse faces the opposite cliff, its drawbridge the only apparent point of entry. Tall, wide windows encompass the bottom layer of the tower. tower, absent only upon the gatehouse side. A circle of open stalls ring the tower's foundation where it meets the rock. Above each stall, a sculpture of a hippogriff in flight leaps from the tower's base. Beneath Featherdale Spire to the east, a wide, dusty canyon yawns to the hills. You're currently traveling a very steep, light trail leading to this drawbridge. As you're walking along, you can see these knights flying above. They're atop giant birds. Assumingly, that's what the giant birds are flying around the tower for. They appear to be almost giant vulture-like creatures. It clashes heavily with the knight's pure white garb with green markings. They're holding lances and jousting in the sky. All very knightly stuff, I suppose. It's quite the impressive sight, seeing them all fly around like that. As you're looking down, two knights spot you. Both their giant vultures come flying down and land on the ground next to you. They trot towards you before one of them leans down and takes off their helmet. A lady with brown hair, which seems to almost fall out of the helmet like curly locks, looks down upon you. Oh, we have visitors. What are you doing here? I suppose that doesn't really matter right now. My name's Savas. I'm one of the commanders here, and I suppose I'm here to welcome you to Featherdale Spire. She holds her helmet under her arm, and gives you a gleaming smile. So, what brings you here?
We're just here to investigate.
Ah, looking around, adventurers seeking glory? Oh, that reminds me. We are actually having a feast tonight. And since you seem to have taken quite the trip, she looks behind you to the many cliffs you climbed to get here. Well, would you like to join us? We always welcome anyone into our tower. Feel free to stay the night if you wish.
This
We're
seems
always
we could stay for
suspicious.
dinner.
You all have a good smile and agreement on staying for dinner. Perfect. Unfortunately, our birds can only support one, so you're gonna have to walk the rest of the way, but I'll get everything ready for you. She puts back on her helmet before taking off along with someone else who was next to her, another knight. They fly off towards the spire, and as you approach, a gap of 20 feet separates the ledge where the path ends from the closed drawbridge on Featherdale Spire. The space between the cliff's edge and gatehouse drops about 700 feet to the bottom of the canyon. Near the ledge, a brass ball hangs from a wooden post. A bell suddenly starts ringing out, and the drawbridge drops slowly. It finally hits the bottom, giving you access. You see Savas on the other side of the drawbridge, welcoming you with open arms. Come, I'll show you around.
Oh yeah, we follow her. Well, at least I do.
Yeah, I follow her as well.
You all watch in. Zendala is eerily silent during all this, simply taking all the sights in, while Josuke is quite excitedly looking around, gawking at all the wonderful scenery. The entrance is a 30-foot long hall of white stone. At the opposite end of the hallway are two 12-foot doors, like those of an entry gate. An eagle carved from a massive timber hangs from the far side of the ceiling, suspended by strong chains. Slender wings of steel sweep close to its sides. Its head is also fashioned from steel. It's quite the decorative piece. The commander of the Featherdale Knights is quite well built. She turns around and continues gesturing all around. This place is wonderful. And while the Featherdale Knights haven't been around for long, we are quickly rising. And I'm so happy we have someone to visit. Oh, I know. I intend to take you to meet the other commander. He can be a little intimidating, so just don't be too scared by him. But trust me, he's a fine fellow.
I'm assuming people don't come to visit too often.
Actually, we get a surprising amount of visitors. Mostly adventurers coming to seek their glory. We are quite the elite group after all. As you're walking through this entry staircase, she continues gesturing around. You open through the door, and there's this large spiral staircase going to the center of the tower. Walking up the tower, continuing up the spiral staircase, not really seeing much outside of everything. You can catch glimpses through windows of great halls, whether you can see bedrooms, you can see a solarium, which you use to observe the stars. You can see a great feast hall, presumably where the feast will be. And finally, you reach the top. At the apex of the tower, the stairs terminate at a round stone gazebo that continues upward in a needle-like fashion. Beyond this enclosure, a small lawn grows upon the top of the tower. 4 paths paved with light stone point the directions of the compass. Each path ending in a pointed stone arc. At the pinnacle's edge is a spyglass on a tripod pointed downward. From this vantage point, the Featherdale Knights possess a supreme view of all that transpires in the nearby canyon, and perhaps all of Summer Hills. The other commander of the Featherdale Knights turns around to meet you. He's a well-built human male in his early 50s. Emblazoned feather patterns ornate his plates of armor, and his knightly cloak boasts a feather mantle. He smooths his white blonde hair into place, then bows low before you, as if he were only a lowly commoner. Welcome to Featherdale Spire, retreat of the Featherdale Society. He leans back up and gives you a warm smile. I am Thurl Masoka, the Lord Commander.
Nice to meet you. I'm Kate, and these are my friends, my partners, June and
Zandala.
Yes.
And I'm Josuke. He raises his hand quite excitedly. Well, you all seem to be quite the adventuring type. Zandala leans against one of the nearby pillars. So, you operate out of Waterdeep, huh? Yes, that's where we originated from. Here, why don't we all go down to the feast hall? The feast is about to start, after all. He walks down quite merrily. Well, I suppose we should follow him. Everything's happening so fast you can't really understand before you're suddenly thrust into the feast hall. Going down the stairs and opening doors, just the pure silence is now met with a large, just jovial attitude. People are running about, shouting, talking, having a grand old time. Muds are clinked together, feasts are being eaten. There's one empty table, which appears to be quite important, as the Lord Commander sits down at the head of. He points to you and ushers you into the table. Come, have a seat.
Okay.
You all sit down at the table and sort of look amongst yourselves. It's quite the place. There's many feast tables, and all the knights are cheerily talking with each other. All of them seem quite happy with the place. You can see all their weapons put away to the side as they clink muds of ale, chugging it, screaming, yelling, laughing, eating pot roasts, huge legs of chicken. It's quite nice. So, the Lord Commander leans down from the table and gives you all a smile. Do you have any tales to tell me of why you're here? You certainly seem to have quite the story.
Well, I've been saying a lot, so why doesn't Jude explain?
We have been investigating disappearances of delegates from the Emerald Enclave.
Disappearing delegates? Zandala gives you a harsh glare. This is supposed to be confidential. As if trying to salvage the situation. Well, there have been just peace talks between Mirabar and other places, hoping to re-establish contact with our Medio. That's one of the reasons we're here. The delegates are here as peace ambassadors. I see. Well, we Featherdale Knights are, more than happy to help in any way we can. We're an elite group of aerial mount enthusiasts from Waterdeep. So, I'm sure all of you have heard the tale of haunted keeps, right?
Sounds interesting.
Well, let me tell you right here. The haunted keeps. Zandal rolls her eyes. Oh boy, I can already tell. lords love to go on about their grand origins. Long ago, he breaks out into this merriment, quite happy with himself. You see, long ago, there were these 4 keeps established by an order of knights. These knights fought to drive back an ancient evil which had taken root in Armedio. These 4 keeps sought to hold the line against the forces of evil. He's making these grand gestures, holding this big drumstick in his hand as if it were a sword, and using it to point at things.
I am so digging this.
These evils. He's continuing making these grand gestures, pointing to all of you. You see, this ancient lich slumbered beneath Armedio, creating demons and devils. But then, as he sent them to the surface, this order of knights established the keeps and fought off the demons. They fought for hundreds of years until finally both sides fell silent. The knights went further into the depths, leaving their keeps behind. However, they failed in their duty, and the demons and devils below won. Undead poured forth from the slumber hills, and that is why Armedio is so infested. But until now, these haunted keeps, ruled by undead and banditry, have been reclaimed. He points upward and puts his hands on his hips as if making a superhero gesture. By the Featherdale Knights. We have fought long and hard and reclaimed Featherdale Spire in the name of the original knights who've gone down to fight evil. And now we take up their mantle, using our aerial superiority to fight the demons and devils of this land. All the knights, including you guys, all the knights in the room give this round of applause, except for Zendala, who simply leans forward into the table. So, you came from Waterdeep, huh? What was your organization called back in Waterdeep? Ah, we were a subset of the Order of the Gauntlet. You see, the Order of the Gauntlet is a very prestigious area. This order was founded by the old knights. And you see, well, although they don't do much anymore, they mostly have their subsets take care of things. They have broken off into many clans, such as the Featherdale Knights, or the Flaming Fist Order. The Flaming Fists mostly have rule of the north of Armedio, while we Featherdale Knights have taken hold in the south and seek to bring peace and prosperity. Zendala sort of pokes her food a bit, but doesn't really do much. So, what's your favorite kind of aerial mount? Like the giddiness of a child, he leans into you all. Hippogriffs? Hawkers? Giant vultures? What kind? But as I'm sure you see, most of us ride giant vultures, as that is the most common type of mount in Armedio. However, we all strive to ride in hippogriffs.
I don't have an exact opinion.
I'm pretty indifferent.
Well,
but giant vultures do seem cool.
Yeah, they seem hella.
Suddenly, Thorol's face darkens. Great evil lurks among these hills. Depraved cultists led by wretched monsters. But let us speak of such matters after the feast has warmed our blood. Here, since we've been having all this merriment, let's say you to a toast. Our guests of honor. He raises his glass in your name. So, honored guests, tell us, what adventures have you accomplished, and what adventures do you hope to accomplish?
June?
Well,
things like your backstory, or things that your characters strive to do.
Oh. I never really thought about that.
I strive for greatness.
Greatness and honor, something we all strive for. I can raise a glass to that. He chugs his mud down. And you there, fine lady, what do you strive for? You appear to be a druid of sorts.
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
Um, just for the sake of other people.
Ah, protecting the weak. A fine goal. And another I can raise my glass to. He chugs back another ale. All the merriment is suddenly cut short. The doors to the great hall fly open, and a sentry from the pinnacle starts shouting, "Manticore! It's on the move!" At this announcement, all the Featherdale knights rise as if one, the feast before them unfinished. Fiddle slams his mug of ale down. We should take this opportunity to slay the monster. Suddenly, from his finger, he removes a feather patterned golden ring, set upon which is a garnet. He holds it aloft. A prize for the one who brings me the beast's head. All the Featherdale knights cheer and run for their weapons, raising them. They all begin mobilizing, running for their mounts. You four. Well, I don't imagine you. He looks at Josuke, have much experience flying, and I don't actually think the rest of you do either. But you three, he looks to June, Kate, and Zendala. You three look like you could be good. What say you help me hunt a manticore? The big smile on his face.
Well, there's no hurt in a side quest.
I'll take
Perfect.
that challenge up.
All right then. Now, I want you three to meet up with 4 of my Featherdale knights, assemble at the pinnacle, and go off and get a vulture. Do any of you know how to ride?
Nope.
Nope.
Well, a perfect time to learn. He slaps you hard on the back with a friendly smile before running off towards his own gear. Zendala gives you a weak shrug before she runs up the stairs towards the mounts. Shall you run after her?
I'm not sure where she's going.
She's running off towards where he said to get the mounts.
Oh yeah, we should follow.
Yeah.
Well, I will.
Yeah, I'll follow.
If you want your characters to do something, just like say, I want to go do this, like at any point.
Okay.
You run up the staircase, running up the stairs. Finally, you assemble at the pinnacle before you. 4 Featherdale knights assemble at the pinnacle, each mounted upon a giant vulture. You've been feasting for a long time, and so the moon illuminates the misty canyon below Featherdale Spire. In the far distance, a single shard of darkness moves, flitting in and out of the mist, and the shadows sink beneath the bank of clouds, lost again from sight. One of the Featherdale knights takes off her helmet. It's Savras again, the one who welcomed you at first. There, that's the manticore we're hunting. He's been terrorizing the civilians around here. And, more importantly, he has a large treasure we could go after. She plants her spear into the ground and gives you a smile. What say you up for a little hunting?
What do you guys say? June and yeah. I'm not good with names.
Who are you talking to?
The June and the girl.
Zendala. She's a half-elven lady.
I should write that down.
Yep. As a description, she's wearing black shirt and pants with a purple cloak over it, and she has long blonde hair kept in a braid. But so it's sort of like platinum blonde, almost like whitish, and with green eyes that are sort of reptilian in nature.
Okay. Yeah. What do you three? I mean, what do you two say?
No matter my feelings about this whole society, I think we should hunt the manticore. It does seem to be quite the danger, and if it's hunting civilians, it needs to be taken care of.
I think similarly.
Agreed.
Indeed. It's clearly a problem.
Well, let's go, I guess.
All right. Perfect. Savras puts her helmet upon her armor. She sends a hand down to you. All of you shall ride with me. Well, not all of you at once. You'll each sit upon the backs of one of my knights.
Okay.
Which one of you wishes to ride with me?
I do. Please.
Perfect. She grabs your forearm and pulls you up onto the back. I suggest you hold on tight. It's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride. Before you can ask what that even means, suddenly you feel yourself plummeting through the air. The giant vulture has leaped off the tower, and you're flying through the air. You can feel your clothes whipping around you, your hair just billowing around you, slapping into your face. Suddenly, you level out as the giant vulture takes flight, its wings beating against the moon. It's quite the beautiful view up here. The rest of you all climb on with another feathered down knight, with Josuke being left behind along the tower. So there are 4 feathered down knights, including Savras, and 3 of you.
Okay.
All of you. Be sure to tell me if you ever find the manticore. Look around. We're going to be flying close to the ground. All the feathered down knights fly into a formation, a sort of diamond-like formation. So, one of you roll a d20.
Okay, I will. 14.
Okay. 14 plus the 7 of the knights, so... As you're flying through, you spot this shard of darkness dart beneath you. You can clearly see the manticore.
Oh, okay.
You can see the manticore flying in front.
Oh yeah, should we tell somebody? Yeah.
Yeah.
We see the monitor.
You point downward, calling out the manticore. Savras, even though she has a helmet on, you can just tell she has a large smile across her face. Suddenly, that feeling of falling happens again. The vultures tuck in their wings and start rocketing towards the ground to catch up with the manticore. I probably should have asked this beforehand, she's shouting over the wind. But do any of you have ranged attacks? Sandola, who's holding on very tight, she seems absolutely terrified. Her hair has quickly come undone from the braid and is flying up behind her. She slightly raises her hand and then quickly wraps back around the knight in front of her. Her eyes shut tight.
I have a sling.
I have a crossbow.
A sling and some darts. And I also... Yeah, that's it.
Well, perfect. Either way, we're probably also going to be coming in for drop attacks. We're going to be flying through the air. But
nice.
First, we're going to get some combat music.
Hey.
Do you want me to put the combat music in the group chat for you to listen to, or should I play it over my phone? Which do you think would be better?
You should
just link it to us.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, then.
Or something like that.
Kate, what do you think?
Well, I said, sorry,
Yeah,
I said
no, it's
the
alright.
latter, but, I can go with June, I guess.
I want, because, I'm still done one online before, so I just want input from everyone.
There's only 2 of us, so it would be it would be 1-to-1, so I'm just gonna go with what June says.
No, I just want to know, since I don't know if the 2 of you are both capable of playing it. Are you both on computer or something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm on a computer. It's just gonna be a little weird thing because I sometimes do other stuff and it stops the stuff.
All right. We'll try out the sending it in the link for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should turn it down so I can hear.
I shall also be playing the music for myself. So
okay.
There you go. I've posted the link in the chat. So the knight, there not going to be any movement for you guys, just attacks, since the knights are the ones you're holding on to. But you will be occasionally asked to make strength checks to hold on to the knights as you are hurtling through the air currently.
Okay. Do I start shooting or something?
Roll initiative.
Initiative, okay. That's a D20 too?
Yes, and then you add your initiative bonus.
Okay. Oh, is that?
I got a
Sorry, I'm trying
7.
to find it. Initiative? Where would that be?
I know nothing about Orc Pub. I can't really help. Sorry.
I only have intimidation, investigation, and intelligence.
Oh, it wouldn't be under proficiencies. It's probably under like what if there's a combat tab.
Oh, okay. There's a combat tab, yes. Oh, initiative too. So let me roll
Yeah. So roll d20 and then add 2 to it.
3.
All right.
I got a total of 7, so...
Perfect.
That's great.
Oh, my iPad's glitching out right now. Give me a sec. I'm trying to roll for the Manticore currently. Alright, the Manticore is going first. However, it seems the Manticore has not noticed you, so it's simply flying right now. So we leave it over to June. Oh, and Zendala goes after you too. She's an NPC. So the order of things is June and his knight, then Kate and Savras, and then the rest of the NPCs. So the Feathered Knight riding on his own, Zendala and the Feathered Knight she's riding with.
Alright. I'll shoot it with my crossbow.
You can also fly in to try and make a melee attack if you want to like, swoop at the Manticore.
Alright. I'll stay with crossbow.
Alright. You're gonna be rolling with disadvantage since both of you are moving targets and you're high up in the air, so you have to account for things. So roll attack.
That would be d20, right?
D20 plus your dex modifier since it's a crossbow, I believe.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I got
Could you just,
5.
Hold on. Kate, what'd you say?
If it's not a D20, could you like just say it's not a D20?
Yeah, I'll tell you
So I can
it's
just
not a
assume
D20.
that everything else is a D20.
Yeah. In D&D, it's usually safe to assume that everything's a D20.
Yeah, okay.
Alright.
I'll just inform you if it's not a D20. Whenever I say just roll without giving you a number, just assume it's a D20.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright, so you take aim with your crossbow and fire, but the bolt just sails horribly. Like you fire it and the bolt just flies off to the right because you're moving so quickly. The knight who you're riding with turns around to face you. We have to get a little closer. That's why we don't really use ranged weapons too much, especially not when we're at this speed. He dives down with his giant vulture and keeps flying towards the Manticore. Kate, your turn.
Okay, I'll probably have to use my sling.
Remember, you're a druid, so you also have spells.
I do, but I don't know how to use them.
You simply cast them. You just get your
Oh.
spell list, and then you just cast them at any time.
There's a spell list? That's so cool. Produce flame? That sounds nice. Produce flame, I'll do that.
What does produce flame do? I think it should give you a description.
It does not. Oh, yes, it does. Flickering flames appear in your hands. The flame remains there for the duration and harms neither you nor your equipment. The flame sheds a bright light 10-foot radius through. Oh, never mind. That doesn't do anything.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, I'll just have to use my thing, my sling.
All right.
Sling.
Roll to hit then. So, D20 plus your dex modifier, since it's a ranged weapon.
I'm gonna assume that that's what that is. Oh, that's what that is. Okay, it's 14.
Good job. You pull back the sling and fire. The little like sling bullet that you shoot flies through the air and nails the Manticore on the side. What is the sling's damage?
The sling's damage, let me check. I'm pretty sure it was 4. So let me double check. Oh, two. No, two. 1d4 plus 2.
So
modifier.
1d4 plus 2 plus another 2 for your dex modifier. So 1d4
Okay.
plus 4. So just roll a 1d4.
1d4. Roll 2 plus. What was it again? 2 and then another 2?
Yeah, so it 6 in total.
Yeah. So,
The bullet flies and slams the Manticore on the side. The Manticore finally catches note of this and turns around and sees your group. Ah, perfect! Our prey has noticed us. Now we can lead it. Savras flies down and swings out with her glaive. She hits the Manticore along the side, grazing it. This does 6 damage. So she flies down and hits the Manticore along the wing, and then quickly flies away. Next up, Zendala, who is currently desperately holding on for dear life, struggles to raise her arm to cast a spell. Her hands are quite shaky, so she's sort of like struggling to see if she can actually do this.
okay, like, are we close?
You're all fairly close. You're at least within 20 feet of each other.
Okay, can I, like,
that'd be-
yell encouragement? Because I just kind of want to.
Can you yell what?
Yell, like, encouragement. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can do this.
Zendala hears this and looks up to you and sort of gives you a soft smile before looking back. Suddenly, you see the scales on her face seem to darken, becoming more pronounced. She holds out her hand, and these scales race along her arm. Her nails grow a little bit longer, and you can see she holds out her finger. Excuse me. You can see she holds out her finger. This light begins to coalesce within her finger. Suddenly, as she raises her arm, a large fireball shoots out of her hand towards the Manticore.
Cool.
Fireball just nails the Manticore in the back, with rolling a 21 on hit.
That
Just-
was awesome. Yeah.
This does 15 damage, burning the Manticore fairly badly. Manticore
Nice.
screeches, smoke rising from its body. A few hairs burned away. Manticore flies upward before circling back to be behind your group. It shoots towards Zendala and gnashes out with its teeth. It flies forward and grabs Zendala's arm with its teeth, biting down hard. It bites deep into her skin, causing blood to spurt out. She starts screaming as the feathered knight in front of her stabs its glaive into the Manticore's jaws. Manticore lets go and flies away from the horse.
Was
Zendala
there
grab-
anything I could have done in that situation? Because I feel kind of bad for just letting it happen.
No, there's nothing you could have done. It all happened so
Okay.
fast with the Manticore just circling around and just flying towards Zendala. By the time you realized what was happening, the jaws were already clamped down. However, the Manticore is currently sailing up towards you.
Oh no.
You see its claws are sharp and it swings forward with it. Does 18 hit your AC?
My AC.
Yes.
I forgot what that meant.
AC is armored class. It basically determines whether
Oh,
or not you can be
16?
hit. What'd you say?
16?
Yeah, that hits.
Okay.
The claws race across your, damaging you badly. You take 9 points of damage.
Dang. Wait, do I even have that much? Okay, yeah, I do.
Yeah. I mean, you're level 3, so you should have at least 30 hit points, I think.
I have 28.
I have 21.
Oh, right, spellcasters. Either way, the Manticore's claws rip across your flesh. It hurts very badly. Manticore flies up and darts down past the vulture.
Oh.
The vulture sort of
Orc
loses.
Club is being dumb right now.
Oh,
Sorry, you can just keep going. I'm trying to fix it.
that's fine. The Voltron loses balance, and Savras quickly stabilizes it by pulling you off to the side. The group is currently unbalanced, and with his unbalance, the Manticore races through the middle, towards you, June. He again races downward with his claws, attempting to hit you. Ooh, he gets a critical hit, and, meaning he hits you insured, and does 16 damage.
Well, that's...
Manticore flies forward, and his claws rip into your flesh. You put up your arm to protect yourself, and you can feel deep gashes going into your arms. The blood flies outward as the Manticore flies back. The Feather Knights quickly regain their composure and start flying towards it to attempt to catch it off guard. Despite your injuries, you're still able to fight. It is your turn. June.
Me? Oh, never mind.
I'll
Yes,
use a melee attack.
Alright. What are you gonna use to melee attack?
A longsword.
Alright. Roll d20.
Alright.
Yeah, plus strength.
11.
The Feather Knight charges forward and flies very elegantly underneath the Manticore's stomach, giving you the perfect opportunity to strike it. You hit with your longsword, delaying. Roll whatever damage the longsword is. I think a d8.
Alright. I got 7.
And then add your strength modifier to that.
11, then.
You slice your sword across its belly, doing 11 damage. The Manticore is in a lot of pain, obviously, and shrieks outward and flies away, which puts him in the perfect position for Kate to attack.
Oh, can I like get it before it gets too far? Like with
Yes.
the weapon. Okay, I'll use the sling again,
All right,
which was
roll.
a really long one.
Yeah.
Roll the d20 first.
Yeah, d20 plus your dex mod.
9 plus. I can't believe I forgot this already. 9 plus 2. That's 11. 11.
With Savras's help, she managed to position you in a way that you can nail the Manticore in the head. You pull back your sling, and the bullet goes flying, nailing it. Roll for damage.
Okay. Damage, what is that?
D4 plus 2 plus your dex, so D4 plus 4.
I'm trying to get to the dice roller. I lost it. Oh, I got 1. 5.
Oh, yep. Well, it still hits the Manticore, putting it off balance. Manticore futilely flapped its wings a bit before regaining altitude. It's trying to retreat right now, and as such, I'm putting more music in the chat.
Oh, okay. I have to switch to that one first. I mean, now. Yeah. The anime girl.
Yeah, a lot of music I have usually has thumbnails of anime girls. Speaking of anime girls, it's currently Zandala's turn.
A.
That's pretty hella.
Zandala is still holding on tightly, and with her arm, she sort of like steadily raises that. You can still see the gash marks along it, but she seems to be charging up another fireball.
KK.
Give me a moment to get spells. She aims towards the fireball, narrows her eyes, and you see the scales grow even more intense along her arms. Her face becomes very scaly around the eyes, almost like a domino mask. Her green eyes become almost reptilian in nature, and her nails grow into claws.
Oh.
That sounds intense.
She bars her teeth as the fireball grows larger and larger. You can see she has this sort of strong smile. You can see the smallest hints of fangs in her mouth. Very draconic in nature. By the time you have to process this, she lets out a laugh as the fireball races from her fingertips. It streaks through the air and strikes the Minotaur in the side. The Minotaur's wing is just blown to pieces, and it begins spiraling towards the surface. You see the Minotaur fly out of the smoke rising from its body. Hairs are singed off. It flies downward and past the clouds. You lose sight of it after that. Hell yeah! Savras raises her spear triumphantly. Nice shot! All of you! She looks around and giving smiles to everybody. Alright team, we're hunting down this thing. The birds duck in their wings and they all go plummeting towards the ground. Roll D10 or D20 strength.
Alright.
Oh, June?
All of you roll strength.
21.
Oh, okay.
Alright? You hold on tight to your Featherdale Knight, who is... That's Theo.
I'm sorry, I have to find the thing. Okay. 9. Oh wait, no. 0.
Huh?
How
I
do
got
you
a
go
1,
from-
and then it's -1.
You went from 9 to 0.
Exactly.
Because I accidentally read the big number instead of the small number.
Okay, so you rolled a 1.
And then the modifier is -1.
Okay,
So do I just
Alright.
not even try or something?
so, okay, you're holding on tight, but you can feel that gash in your arm that the Minotaur gave you.
oh
it flares
no,
up with
I'm gonna
pain.
die.
And you slowly lose your grip on Savras in front of you. Savras panics and tries to reach out for you, but then she loses control of the bird. She has to hold on tight to keep herself from falling off as well. And slowly, you feel yourself just rocketing off the bird. It's just this almost calming experience as you just feel yourself in open air. Before reality catches up to you, you begin flying, fluttering towards the ground. Your cloak is just billowing around you, and your hair is just all up in your face. You can't
Wow.
see anything. Suddenly you hear this scream in front of you. This is the worst idea I've ever had. You open your eyes against the wind, and you can see Zendala just sort of trying to regain balance ahead of you. It seems she too jumped off her bird as if trying to catch you. She reaches towards you. Roll strength.
Strength again.
Yes.
Both of us?
Okay.
No, just Kate. You
Alright.
managed to hold on.
14.
You grabbed onto Zendala's arm, and as she pulls you towards her, look, I'm not making any promises, so I have no goddamn idea if this is gonna work, okay?
Okay.
She holds out her arm, the one that cast the fireball before, still all scaly. Suddenly, you feel the wind around you just, like, gushing in all different directions. Suddenly, you feel yourself being blown to the side. It seems
What?
Zendala is casting gusts of wind in a bunch of different directions as to simulate air currents.
Oh.
You're being jerked around again and again, flown through the air. All this whiplash causes you to be quite sore. Roll 1d8.
D8. 2.
You take 2 damage.
Oh, okay, cool.
You feel yourself continuing to rocket towards the ground. However, Zendala is trying to slow your descent. It seems to be working as you don't seem to be at terminal velocity anymore. More at a sort of very bad velocity. You continue rocking towards the ground before Zendala simply begins pushing on open air. You're only about 20 feet away from the ground by now. I'm out of spells. That's the last thing you hear before you feel yourself being submerged in water. You've hit a stream, and you feel yourself sinking towards the bottom.
What?
You were rocking towards the air, and you're walking towards the ground from the air, and deep into this canyon, Zendala had slowly slowed your descent. However, it wasn't enough to completely stop you from falling, and you have both hit a river that was in the stream.
Okay.
You do, however, take 4 points of damage.
Okay,
Both of you do. So Zendala also took that, which I'll mark down on her character thing.
I'm going to die soon. That's great.
What is your current HP total?
6.
Alright. Well, you feel yourself slowly falling towards the bottom of the lake. Zendala seems to be on the brink of unconsciousness from exerting herself by casting so many spells. What would you like to do?
Well, can I, like... She's falling with me, right?
Yes, you're both underwater right now, and you're slowly
Can I
sinking
try
towards
and
the
take
bottom
us
of the
back
stream.
up to the surface? That probably won't work, but I can still try.
Roll strength.
Strength, again?
Yes.
Okay.
Athletics.
This never goes well.
Yeah, D20
Okay.
athletics.
Oh, athletics.
Yes.
Which would be... another -1. God. Okay. Athletics is also a d20?
Yes. So
Okay.
D20 and then add your athletics
Okay.
if you have any.
So 10 again. So they both turned out to be 10.
Okay. You grab hold of Zendala and start trying to swim towards the surface. You're pushing and pushing, kicking your legs. It's quite hard, however, as Zendala is basically dead weight. The fact that she's in heavy cloth isn't helping matters either. Roll strength again, unless you want to try and do something else.
I think I'm gonna keep trying. I can't do much else.
Alright?
Okay, so I got an 11.
You continue pushing upward, with Zendala being held alongside you. You feel like you're at your brink of breathing. Roll strength again.
Okay. This never goes well. Gosh dang it, 8. I should
You finally-
probably try and do
we-
something else
You
next
begin
time.
breaking. You feel water beginning to enter your lungs, and Zendala doesn't seem to be faring much better. She can barely even move her legs. You
How
both
far
take...
are we from the surface?
The surface is like right next to you. You can barely touch it. Like you can almost feel your fingers touching it.
Okay, I'm gonna tough through it
But
then.
however, you take 3 points of drowning damage.
Okay. Oh gosh, I'm gonna die.
Rip.
You can. Is there something
Roll
I need to do?
athletics.
Athletics. 10.
You finally breach the surface, pulling up your hand, grabbing dry land. You pull yourself up along with Zendala, who you just drop onto the ground next to you. You both begin coughing and sputtering up water. That was the worst idea I've ever had.
Are you okay?
She coughs up a bit more water. Yeah, thanks to you. She sits up before quickly falling back over again, utterly exhausted. So, do you have any idea where we are right now? Look around,
clue.
and it's the dead of night. The moon is shining above you with clouds, and you've lost track of your group. So, I suppose we're even now. She smiles at you. Not too happy with your drowning experience, Kate?
We should probably try and find any sign to where we are.
Zendala narrows her eyes. Yeah, thanks for the grand thank you.
Oh, yes, thank you so much. Yes, thanks.
Zendala stands up and tries to brush dust off before realizing the dust is just waterlogged pants. She awkwardly adjusts in her big, bulky cloak before looking over at you. So, guess we're sort of here now. You're on this empty plateau. June, roll perception.
Okay.
You begin. Your whole team of Feathered Knights dives down beneath the clouds to search for your fallen lovers, who you watched as Kate lost her grip on Savas. And then Zendala immediately let go of her Feathered Knight and jumped off the giant vulture, clearly terrified out of her mind. Just as Kate grabbed hold of Zandella's arm and she grabbed hold of hers, they disappeared beneath the clouds and you lost them. Right now, Savas is freaking out about trying to find them. So, roll another perception check, as you currently haven't seen anything yet.
Alright. 17.
Perfect. As you fly to the ground, you see just as Kate breaches the surface of a stream, she pulls out a very tired Zandala, and they're both sitting upon the stream now, coughing up water and talking with one another. Savas looks down towards them. Oh, thank God they're okay. She rockets down with her bird and touches down, as is the feathered girl knight you're riding with. All the knights get off and begin running towards Kate and Zandala. You two, you're all right.
Yeah. You kind of fell down here.
Zandala sort of gives you a look. Wow, I could have never figured that out. We fell. Truly the epitome of insight right here. She coughs up a
Surely
bit more water.
We're fine for the most part.
More
We should probably,
importantly, Savas looks around. The manticore, where is it? We seem to be near something, at least. We lost it. Alright. Unless you want to stay on the ground, I suggest everyone get back onto the birds. Then Dala sort of looks back. No, I'm not sure falling again is a good idea. Well, you can't just stay on the ground.
I mean,
Zandala looks kind of petrified.
well, I'm not really sure what to do here.
Savas looks at you two. Well, since you two are our teammates, what do you think? Should we have her get back up on the bird? We'll be able to search far more efficiently. And we'll likely find the manticore. I suppose you two could stay down with her and operate as a second party, but that seems highly dangerous.
If we are going to do that, I volunteer.
I do
And June?
as well. I volunteer.
Savas gives you a bemused look. Well, alright then. It's going to be harder traversing on foot, and finding the manticore will take forever, but good luck.
Okay.
She hops back up on the vultures. You sure?
Well, I look back over at
Zandala.
Yeah, that's what
Zandala seems quite happy that you seem to have decided to stay with her. She's giving you a very warm smile.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure. We're gonna stay with Zandala.
Yeah.
You too, June? Alright then. Savas gives you a nod. Alright then. Good luck. And with that,
Thank you.
she and the rest of the Feathered Young Knights take off. Back to the skies to search for the manticore. You've been on this manticore hunt for a while, up in the sky, so the moon is about halfway through its cycle right now. Zandala looks around. She seems quite embarrassed. Her normally light skin color scales are a pinkish color. Thanks for staying.
Don't even mention it. It was for your sake.
Yeah, thanks. She tries to regain some dignity by standing up and putting back on her scowl. She tries to do a sort of dramatic coat flip, but all it does is just end up spraying water a bit more on her. She begins wringing out her purple cloak. So, any idea where the manticore is? We seem to be on some sort of plateau. And this river.
Is that a perception check?
Make a knowledge check. So,
Knowledge check, okay.
make a nature check.
Nature check?
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, yeah, D20. Ooh!
5 is what I got.
What did I get again? 18, 30, 21.
Kate, being the druid that she is, knows a lot about animals. And she knows that manticores like to live at streams, as it's a good source of fresh water. And they especially like to be at the end of streams, as it's basically like water being delivered to them. And since you seem to be near a stream, perhaps following this stream would lead you to the manticore.
Okay, let's follow this stream. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Alright then, Miss Druid, lead the way. Sure enough, you begin following the stream. Occasionally, being the druid that you are and being well versed in nature, you're able to pick up manticore tracks or some sort of droppings or scratch marks that tell you where the manticore is. Eventually, you make it all the way to this lair, I guess you'd call it. A pool fills the center of a deep cave, born of a natural spring beneath the rock and flowing outward into the river. Long stalactites hang above the pool, surrounding a natural center pillar. Water drips from the staircase into the pool. Stalactites, into the pool, echoing throughout the cave. Some of the debris here look like leftovers from an old camp, including 4 old crates. You can see into the cave that it seems to go even deeper, but you don't know how deep it goes. So Dala looks and is standing at the grave, and that's the edge of the cave. So, I guess we found something. Do you think this would be a place where a manticore would be? You do seem to be the nature expert here.
Was that the end of the stream?
Yes, you made it to the end of the stream, and this is also where all the manticore tracks led.
Yeah, we should check it.
Alright, I'll follow your lead.
You stay behind me.
I'd also recommend that you stay behind him. She points over to June, as I think you exerted a lot saving me from the river. You seem quite worn down.
Fair enough.
I don't really have a healing magic, as that's not my specialty. But, well, there's not really any light side to this. I just can't really help you here. I do have a few more spells I could use, so I could be used as artillery if I don't get too near the manticore, hopefully. Either way, I guess we're exploring now.
Does June have mostly melee?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, it would be a good idea for him to stay in front anyway.
You begin walking into this. It's eerily silent. You look around, and you can see that there's obvious, manticores have been here. You can see all around you, there's signs of living. You can see bones piled up, bits of leftover meals, tracks everywhere. And suddenly you hear this low growling from above you. You look up and you can see a very injured manticore. It's padding along the top of a ridge, overlooking the cave. It's slowly circling around you, staring down at you. You can see numerous dents along its head area, as if hit by blunt force, presumably from the dear old pellets shot by Kate. You can see its entire right side is heavily burned, with a wing being broken and battered. And you can see a long gash along its stomach, still dripping blood.
Oh, I feel kind of bad now.
It's glowering at you, very angry.
I guess.
Suddenly it lets out a large shriek almost, and jumps down from the ledge. Roll initiative.
Initiative, okay.
Alright.
Ooh, I got a nicer number that time.
That's a D20, right?
Yep, that is 1d20, and you add your initiative bonus.
Yeah. 11.
Oh, yeah. And what did I get again? 16.
Alright. The order of this is Kate, then June, then Zendala, then Manticore. So, Kate, it's your turn. The Manticore is right in front of you.
It's right in front of me?
Yeah, I mean right in front of you. In all of you. You three are currently in a line, and it's right in front of all of you.
Oh, okay. Oh god, I have to be creative, don't I? Is there anything near me?
Is there anything what?
near me?
Just like there's some broken crates, bones, a manticore that's growling at you.
Okay. Oh, I'm not sure what to do here. I guess I can try attacking it. Well, no, that won't go well, but still. I can try attacking it with my... Will my dagger be enough to hit it?
Maybe, maybe not.
Let's try it. Yeah, let's try it.
Alright, roll d20 to hit.
20. I am
20?
so lucky today.
Alright then. Dagger damage is d4, but since you got a critical hit, your damage is multiplied by 2. So roll d4 and then add... daggers have a thing called finesse, so you can choose to either add your strength modifier or your dex modifier.
Definitely the dex. Okay.
Yeah,
2, and then
strength would make it weaker.
Do I double the 2 that I got from the d4?
Yes.
Okay.
So 4 plus...
2.
So plus another 4, so 8 damage in total.
A.
You pull your dagger and with a scream you bring it forward and carve it deep into the manticore's hide. You let out a shriek before jumping backwards. You pull the dagger and a spurt of blood comes out. You did a very good hit. It tries back and bars its teeth at you. June, your turn.
I charge in and attack.
Alright, what do you want to attack with?
My longsword.
Alright then. Do you have any other weapons beside the longsword, or is it just longsword?
I have a light crossbow.
Oh, alright. So, I'll just assume when you have melee sword. Roll d20.
20.
20?
Yeah.
Oh. Today is the day of d20s, apparently. Alright, roll damage. That'd be d8. And since you got 20, it's multiplied by 2, unless you already multiplied it.
No.
Alright then, that's 22 damage. You run forward, the Manticore swings its claws at you, but you duck underneath it. And as you're coming out from the duck, you swing your sword upward, driving it into the Manticore's throat before fully decapitating it. Manticore falls to the ground, and you guys are victorious.
So should we take it back to the bird people?
Bird people? Oh, you mean the the Featherdale Knights. They're all
yes.
Bird people are bird people.
The Ken people.
Well, there's two types of bird people. There's Kenku and Arakaka. Kenku are like crow people, while Arakaka are like eagle people.
So I think Karakaka.
No, these are just humans in
okay.
that have feather regalia on them.
Well, I'm still gonna call them bird people.
Fair enough. Also, both of you earn 700 experience points for fighting a manticore.
Okay, experience points 700.
But we can get to that soon, I guess. Or right now, with either words, since you guys are victorious and you have slain the manticore. Zendal sits down, leans against a nearby cave. Holy shit. That was intense. Oh, I'm used to fighting humanoids, not beasts. She catches her breath before finally looking up. So I suppose we bring back the trophy now and get the prize.
Yep.
Huh.
How? Hey, June.
Hmm?
Can you carry it?
Sure.
Do we know where they are?
Well, I'm sure if we can probably camp here for the night and then bring it back tomorrow. Zendala lets out from where she's sitting. She looks out the edge of the cave. Yeah, it's so foggy out right now. Can't see where the spire is. What do you say we camp in this cave for the night? In fact, we can search it for loot. And we can camp here, and She looks over to the dead manticore. We have plenty to eat for the night.
Okay, sure.
What's wrong? She gives a very sly smile. What's wrong with enjoying the spoils of our victory? She's much more excited than she was before when she first met you. She sits down next to all of you. You know, when I first met you, I kind of thought you were all going to be idiots. And I'll be honest, taking on a manticore with a dagger? That's crazy. But then you actually went and did it. Suppose you're not too bad.
Why, thank you.
I guess so.
Either way, we should probably make camp here for the night. Both of you, June, Kate, you both did pretty damn well.
I think you did pretty well yourself with that fire. And I have to thank you for saving me.
You know, all part of a day's work. My mission is to protect you, after all. Here, June, why don't you go gather the crates? And Kate, you can search inside the crates too. We need to gather wood for a fire. I'm gonna start cutting up this manticore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so with that, we're gonna end here with you getting the loot. So with you searching the loot, searching the crates, you guys get this. You get from all the crates 60 copper pieces, or just no, these are just coins that are scattered around the crates.
Okay.
As the crates seem to be full of 60 copper pieces, 26 silver pieces, and 14 gold pieces just scattered around. And when you
how many gold pieces?
14 gold pieces.
14.
And when you actually pop open the crates themselves, you can see that each crate contains, well, a lot of things: plates, candlesticks, silts, as well as 50 gold pieces each, coming out to a total of 200 gold pieces.
How much
Whoa.
copper was there?
70.
Alright.
Oh, there were 70? I wrote down 60.
And how much gold?
14 on the ground, but with 200 in the crates.
So how are we gonna split them up, though?
Evenly between you two, as Zendala is not your share. And as for how you split it, that's up for you two to decide.
I guess.
Okay, let's
like
split it evenly
50-50. Yeah.
At least I finally have gold now, because I could not find the other one. Still looking for that gold, by the way.
Fair enough. We'll find it eventually. I'll ask some of the others I'll ask Team Dubro where they keep it. We can ask them that in general chat.
Yeah.
So, and this is where we'll also be ending the session. With you, Zendala, the three of you all sitting down enjoying a nice meal of manticore, using scraps from the boxes, along with Zendala lighting a fire using magic. You all sit down, eat manticore, and then all have a nice sleep for the night, with each of you rotating shifts. This is a long rest, so even if you didn't use any spells, Zendala, all her spell slots are refilled, since that's what happens when you take a long rest, and all your health is refilled to full.
Hey, that's nice.
Full health. So all those manticore wounds, those deep gashes, just sleep it off. You'll be fine. Just sleep it off. That drowning, the water in your lungs, sleep it off. You'll be fine. And there you go. That's where we'll end the session. Each of you getting 700 experience points as well.
Alright.
Nice.
Which I already told you guys when you defeat the manticore.
Yeah, I already added that to my
How
thing.
would I go by doing that?
I need to write all this down in the notes.
I don't know. Kate, assistance here? I don't know how to do Orcpub.
Hold on. I'm not good at explaining things. It should be under your experience points, and it should be like at the top if you're on the. Wait. If you're on view page, yeah, it should be On close to the top on the left.
I'm using D&D Beyond.
Oh, well, I don't
So-
know what that is.
Yeah, I recommend you use D&D Beyond is pretty good.
I'm using Orcpa because
Fair enough. Maybe one day you'll migrate the D&D Beyond.
I'll have to move all my stuff there, but yeah.
Yeah. Meh, oh well.
Yeah.
Either way, I think this was a successful session.
Yep,
Yeah.
that was pretty dope, and we